Okay, sixth graders, this is a short little ed puzzle, and it's actually from page 102 of your textbook. And all it is kind of an introduction to decimal addition and decimal subtraction using kind of a visual model with these blocks here. So this is addition and subtraction. Okay. So let's just take a quick look at what's going on. All right, so if you look on the right here in this picture, you can see that the way they kind of introduce this is they kind of introduce this one block, which basically represents 100 little squares in here. If you were to count all this out, this would be 10 by 10, and really it's basically 100 100ths of a block, or 100 hundredths block. Yeah, that's kind of weird to say. On the right here, they show you what a tenth would look like on this grid, and you just fill in one strip. And then on the right here, you see that only one square is filled in, and that represents 100th. So if you had 100 of these squares filled in, that kind of fills up this one block. Okay, so to represent something like 1.1 with these blocks, essentially what you would need is you'd need this big square, right? Like so. And I'm just going to quickly do this. But again, I draw this in so that there's, essentially 100 of these blocks in the square. And I have to draw 9 of these, but since I'm doing it really fast, okay, it's going to be less than that. Okay. And then you have to do 1.1 or 1 in a tenth. So then I need to draw one more of these, like so. And again, I'm doing this really fast. There should be nine lines drawn, but there's not. It's just I'm doing it really fast. Okay. Anyways, and so again, the grid is just like a template, and then you have to fill everything in. So this is the blue that I would in the future neatly color in to represent the one. And then the tenth, I just have the first column filled in, and that basically represents 1.1 with these blocks. So what they're doing on this page here is introducing the addition of decimals using the grid. So as you can see here, you have a 0.24 or 24 hundredths added to 32 hundredths, and they kind of explain to you step by step how this works. So to represent the 24 hundredths, you shade in 24 of those blocks, and you can see that that is done in red. And then to represent the 32 hundredths, you add the 32 of those hundredths blocks, and they draw that in or they shade that in red. And so when you add those blocks up together, there's 56 blocks colored. And since each block is worth a hundredth, then you are getting 56 hundredths as your answer. I'm just going to pause for a second here. Okay, so then for the next one on here, we have 1.56 or 1 in 56 hundredths added to 4 tenths. And as you can see in there, kind of the same deal. I can't actually move this. Oh, no, I can. If I'm going to slide this up here a little bit, you can see how they kind of did the same thing. So they colored in the 1.56 with the one massive block here, and then they colored in 5 of the tenths, right? So 50 blocks, and since it's 56 hundredths, you can see there's 6 in here, and then in green, they colored in the 4 tenths, like so, and then you just count them all up. Okay, so in this case, it's almost 2 of the full blocks, except for 4 white spots. So that should tell us that this adds up to, in this case, oops, I need to change to the writing, 1.96 or 1 in 96 hundredths. Okay, now I didn't have room to add the subtraction one, but they do a similar thing with the subtraction where if you take 0.6 or 6 tenths and subtract it from 0.38 or 38 hundredths, they want you to think about how you could also represent that with these blocks. So I might draw this one a little bit bigger so I can actually do it more accurately. So again, this isn't the best tool, and that is a very horrendous looking square, but that's my fault because my other writing tool broke. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and maybe I'll draw the ninth one here. And then on this one, sorry guys, I should have actually maybe drawn this before. 2, 3, 4, 5, wow, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, and good thing I have an eraser. So I can clean that up. Now, in the future, okay. Well, in the future, I'm not going to clean that up because that's going to be, that's not going to work. But in the future, I will just give you grid paper to do this. You're not going to be drawing blocks that are so gross looking like this. Okay, so to represent the 6/10, again, we do what we did before. We're going to shade everything in here that's blue to represent the 6/10. And I'm going to color in exactly 6 of these strips to represent 6/10. Okay. And that part I've done. And then in your textbook, what they do to do the subtract. So now I'm subtracting 38 hundredths, like so. So 38 hundredths is taken away from 6/10. What they actually do in the textbook is they take x's and they slowly write in x's to the squares that are being subtracted. And in this case, I would have to take away 38 of these blocks, basically draw in 38 of these x's in order to represent 38 hundredths being taken away. And when I do that, and I'm just going to stop right there because it's kind of just an introduction, what I would find in the end, I would have exactly 22 blocks without the x's, which would represent 22 hundredths, which is the answer to this question. 6/10 minus 38 hundredths equals 22 hundredths. Okay, so this is just an introduction to visually representing decimal subtraction and addition. All right, that's it.